Eli Jenkins, a former lawman seeking peace in the small town of Willow Bend, finds himself facing old enemies and new threats. When rival gangs, led by the vengeful Marcus, target his community, Eli must confront his past and embrace his role as a protector. With the support of his loyal dog Duke and young ally Sam, Eli rallies the townsfolk to stand united against fear and intimidation. As tensions rise and a climactic showdown looms, Eli learns that true courage lies not only in fighting back, but in fostering connections and understanding within his community. This heartwarming tale of resilience, friendship, and redemption explores the power of unity in overcoming adversity and reclaiming peace for all who call Willow Bend home.
Before we continue with the story, you should comment where you are watching from. If you are enjoying this story, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. We have another episode for you tomorrow.
In the serene town of Willow Bend, an elderly man named Eli Jenkins sits in a park, quietly feeding birds while in a wheelchair. To the casual observer, he appears frail and vulnerable, but unknown to the townsfolk, Eli is a retired lawman with a storied past and a loyal service dog named Duke, trained to protect him at all costs. Eli's peaceful routine is interrupted when a group of local bullies, known as the River Rats, swagger into the park. They mock Eli and his wheelchair, unaware that Duke is watching closely, ready to defend his owner. The laughter of the bullies echoes through the park, breaking the calm atmosphere that had settled after their last encounter. Eli feels a familiar tension rise in his chest. He knows these boys are trouble, but he remains composed, focusing on the birds that continue to peck at the seeds on the ground. Duke shifts slightly beside him, sensing the change in Eli's mood. The dog's muscles tense as he prepares for what might come next. The river rats circle around Eli again, their confidence bolstered by their numbers. They begin to push each other playfully, but their eyes are fixed on Eli, who sits quietly in his wheelchair. One of the boys steps forward and makes a show of pretending to mimic Eli's movements. The others laugh loudly, thinking it's all in good fun. Eli stays calm, knowing that reacting with anger will only fuel their fire. He looks down at Duke, who is now standing tall with a low growl rumbling in his throat. The dog knows that Eli is not just an old man, he is someone who has faced danger before and has a friend who will protect him. The leader of the group takes another step closer, trying to provoke Eli further. He reaches out to poke at Eli's wheelchair, testing how far he can push. But before he can make contact, Duke lunges forward with a fierce bark that echoes through the park. The sound is sharp and commanding, startling the bullies and making them take a step back. The atmosphere shifts instantly. The laughter fades as the boys realize they have crossed a line. They look at each other nervously, unsure if they should continue or retreat. Duke stands firm, his eyes locked onto the leader of the group, ready to defend Eli at any moment. Eli takes a deep breath and speaks softly to Duke, reassuring him without saying much at all. The dog seems to understand, he relaxes slightly but remains alert. The bullies exchange glances again, their bravado beginning to crumble under Duke's watchful gaze. One of the younger boys in the group starts to fidget nervously. He glances at Eli and then back at his friends. It's clear that he doesn't want to be part of this anymore. The leader notices this hesitation and tries to rally his friends, but there's a crack in their confidence now. As they stand there, uncertainty fills the air. Eli knows this moment could go either way, they could choose to back off or escalate their bullying further. He remained still, letting Duke do the talking with his presence alone. Finally, after what feels like an eternity of silence, one of the boys turns and starts walking away. This small act seems to trigger something in the others. One by one, they begin to back away from Eli and Duke until they finally turn and leave entirely. Eli watches them go with a sense of relief washing over him. He knows that while this encounter was difficult, it also showed him how strong his bond with Duke truly is. The dog had stood up for him without hesitation, proving that loyalty runs deeper than appearances. As the sun sets lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the park once more, Eli feels grateful for this moment of victory. He reaches down to pet Duke gently on his head, acknowledging the bravery that lies within his furry companion. In this quiet moment after the storm of chaos had passed again, Eli reflects on how important it is to have someone by your side who believes in you and will stand up for you no matter what. Tomorrow may bring new challenges or new encounters with those who do not understand him or Duke's true strength. But for now, they are safe together in their little corner of Willow Bend. Eli smiles softly as he watches more birds flutter around them, finding comfort in their simple presence as he prepares for whatever comes next on this unexpected journey filled with courage and companionship. The next day, the Bullies' leader, 𝗗𝗜𝗦𝗏𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗦, steps forward to provoke Eli further. 𝗏𝗏𝗦𝗏𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗦 stands tall, puffing out his chest as if trying to show off his strength. The other boys laugh and egg him on, feeling emboldened by their numbers. Eli feels the weight of their gaze, but chooses not to react. He keeps feeding the birds, letting the small creatures distract him from the growing tension around him. Duke's breathing becomes steady and deep, a silent promise that he is ready to protect Eli at any moment. 𝗏𝗏𝗦𝗏𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗦 leans in closer, sneering at Eli with a smirk that shows he thinks he has the upper hand. The other boys watch eagerly, their eyes darting between Eli and 𝗏𝗏𝗦𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏, waiting for something to happen. Eli can feel the atmosphere thickening with anticipation, but he stays focused on the birds, refusing to give in to fear. Suddenly, 𝗏𝗏𝗦𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 reaches out and shoves Eli's wheelchair hard. The sudden movement jolts Eli, but he doesn't lose his composure. Instead, he looks up at 𝗏𝗏𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏 with calm eyes that seem to challenge the bully's bravado. Duke growls lowly, a warning sound that sends a ripple of unease through the group. The other bullies exchange nervous glances as they see Duke's protective stance. They had come looking for easy fun, but now find themselves in a situation that feels more serious than they expected. 𝗏𝗏𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏 tries to laugh it off, but there's a hint of uncertainty in his voice as he steps back slightly. Eli takes a moment to breathe deeply. He knows that showing fear or anger could make things worse. Instead, he focuses on Duke's presence beside him, a reminder that strength can come in many forms. The dog remains alert, ready to spring into action if needed. 𝗏𝗏𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏 tries again to assert control over the situation by making a joke at Eli's expense. But this time, the laughter from the other boys is hesitant. They can feel the tension in the air and start to realize that this is not just a game anymore. Eli continues to feed the birds, maintaining his calm demeanor despite the chaos around him. He knows that sometimes silence speaks louder than words. He can sense Duke's energy shifting as the dog picks up on Eli's resolve. The bond between them grows stronger in this moment of challenge. 𝗏𝗏𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 takes another step forward, trying to regain his confidence. He leans closer to Eli, attempting to intimidate him further. But instead of flinching or backing down, Eli meets 𝗏𝗏𝗦𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 gaze directly. There is no fear in his eyes, only a quiet strength that surprises even himself. 𝗗𝗜𝗦𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 lets out another low growl, and this time it carries more weight. The other boys take a step back instinctively as they realize that they might have underestimated both Eli and 𝗗𝗜𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 hesitates for just a moment. Doubt creeps into his mind as he weighs whether to push forward or retreat. Eli remains still, allowing the tension to build around them like a coiled spring ready to snap. He knows that one wrong move could set off a chain reaction of events that could escalate quickly. But he also understands that sometimes standing your ground is the bravest thing you can do. Finally, after what feels like an eternity of silence filled only by 𝗗𝗜𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏's steady growl and the rustling of leaves in the wind, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 shifts uncomfortably on his feet. He glances at his friends who are now looking less certain about their decision to confront Eli. The moment hangs heavy in the air until 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 takes a step back and raises his hands in mock surrender. The other boys follow his lead reluctantly, still unsure about what just happened, but feeling an undeniable shift in power dynamics. Eli watches as they slowly back away from him and 𝗗𝗜𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, their laughter fading into nervous chuckles as they turn to leave. It's clear they are no longer interested in pushing their luck against an old man and his fierce protector. As they walk away, Eli allows himself a small smile of satisfaction mixed with relief. He knows this encounter has changed something within him. It has reminded him of the strength he still possesses and how important it is to have someone like 𝗗𝗜𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 by his side. In this moment of quiet victory after another storm had passed, Eli reflects on how courage can take many forms. Sometimes it's found in standing still while others try to shake you up. With 𝗗𝗜𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 beside him, he feels ready for whatever challenges tomorrow might bring. As dusk settles over Willow Bend once more, Eli prepares for another day filled with new possibilities and new adventures alongside his loyal friend who has proven time and again that true strength lies not just in size, but in heart and loyalty. When Jake pushes Eli's wheelchair backward in a show of dominance, 𝗗𝗜𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 springs into action. With a fierce growl, he positions himself between Eli and the bullies, showcasing his protective instincts. The sound of 𝗗𝗜𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏's growl fills the air, sending a clear message that this is not a game. The other boys freeze, their laughter dying down as they realize the situation has shifted dramatically. Jake stares at 𝗗𝗜𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, his bravado faltering for the first time. He had expected to intimidate an old man in a wheelchair, but now he faces a dog that radiates strength and loyalty. Eli feels the tension in the air thickening as he watches Jake's expression change from arrogance to uncertainty. 𝗗𝗜𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 stands firm, his body tense and ready to defend Eli at any moment. Eli can feel the bond between them growing stronger, and he knows this is a pivotal moment. He takes a deep breath, feeling the weight of the past lifting slightly as he prepares to speak. Eli finally breaks his silence. He tells Jake that pushing him around is not just foolish, it's dangerous. He hints at his former life as a lawman, a protector of the town who once stood up against real threats. The words hang in the air like a challenge, and Eli's calm demeanor contrasts sharply with the chaos around him. The other boys look at each other, unsure of how to react. They had come to bully an old man, but now they are faced with someone who has lived through challenges far greater than their petty games. Jake's bravado begins to crumble as he realizes he may have underestimated Eli. Eli continues, reminding them that true strength comes from within and that being brave doesn't always mean being loud or aggressive. He emphasizes that there are consequences for their actions and that they should think carefully about who they choose to mess with. Duke remains alert, his eyes locked onto Jake, ready to spring into action if needed. The tension in the group is palpable as they weigh their options. The atmosphere shifts from one of mockery to one of fear and respect. Jake tries to regain control of the situation by scoffing at Eli's words, but there's a tremor in his voice that betrays his uncertainty. The other boys begin to step back slowly, sensing that this confrontation is not going as planned. Eli watches them carefully, knowing this is his moment to stand firm. He feels empowered by Duke's presence beside him and by the strength of his own past experiences. The bullies are no longer just kids playing games, they are now faced with someone who has faced real danger before. As Jake hesitates, Eli senses an opportunity. He tells them that everyone deserves respect, regardless of their age or appearance. He speaks with authority, drawing on his years of experience as a lawman who once stood up for those who couldn't stand up for themselves. The words resonate with the boys, and one by one, they begin to back away from Eli and Duke. They exchange nervous glances, realizing they have crossed a line they shouldn't have approached in the first place. Jake tries one last time to assert himself by making a weak joke about how they were just having fun. But even he knows it sounds hollow now. The laughter from earlier is gone, instead, there's only silence filled with unspoken understanding. Eli sees the moment when Jake finally decides it's time to leave. With one last glance at Duke, who still stands protectively in front of Eli, Jake turns and walks away. The other boys follow suit, their bravado shattered as they retreat from what had become an unexpected confrontation. As they leave the park behind them, Eli feels a surge of relief mixed with pride. He knows that standing up for oneself is not always about fighting, sometimes it's about finding your voice and knowing when to use it. Duke relaxes slightly beside him, but remains alert as if sensing that danger could still be lurking nearby. Eli reaches down to pat Duke on the head again, grateful for his loyal companion who had been ready to protect him at any moment. In this moment of triumph after facing down bullies who had thought themselves invincible, Eli reflects on how courage can take many forms. Sometimes it means standing your ground when others try to push you back. As dusk settles over Willow Bend once more, Eli feels renewed strength within him. He knows tomorrow will bring new challenges, but also new opportunities for bravery and companionship alongside Duke, the fearless protector who has shown him that true strength lies not just in physical power, but in heart and loyalty as well. With this victory behind them, Eli looks forward to whatever adventures await him and Duke on their journey together, a journey filled with courage against all odds and an unbreakable bond forged through trials faced together side by side. You thought it was over? Just as tensions peak and the bullies prepare to retaliate, Duke unexpectedly trips Jake with a well-timed move, sending him sprawling into a nearby fountain. The sudden splash of water breaks the heavy silence, and laughter erupts from onlookers who have gathered to witness the unfolding drama. The sound of giggles and cheers fills the air, diffusing the tension that had been thick just moments before. Jake flounders in the fountain, sputtering and soaked to the bone. His friends stand frozen for a moment, their bravado completely shattered by the unexpected turn of events. The laughter from the crowd grows louder, and Eli can't help but feel a sense of satisfaction as he watches Jake's humiliation unfold. Duke, sensing the shift in mood, stands tall beside Eli, his tail wagging slightly as if he knows they have won this round. The bullies' leader struggles to regain his composure while water drips from his clothes, his face turning red with embarrassment. The other boys begin to laugh too, unable to hold back their amusement at their friend's misfortune. Eli feels a wave of relief wash over him. The crowd's laughter has turned the tables on the bullies, making them the object of ridicule instead of him. He knows that this moment will linger in their minds, reminding them that bullying comes with consequences. As Jake finally manages to pull himself out of the fountain, dripping wet and defeated, he looks around at his friends. The laughter that had once supported him now feels like a weight pressing down on him. The other boys begin to back away slowly, unsure of how to react now that their leader is no longer in control. Eli watches as Jake's bravado crumbles completely. He can see the realization dawning on him that he has lost not only this confrontation, but also his standing among his peers. The laughter from the crowd continues to echo in the park, a reminder that sometimes justice comes in unexpected forms. Jake tries to shake off the water and regain some dignity, but it's too late. The crowd is still laughing, and Eli feels a sense of triumph swell within him. He knows this victory is not just for himself but for anyone who has ever been bullied or made to feel small. Duke stands proudly beside Eli, having played his part perfectly. Eli reaches down to pat Duke's head again, grateful for his loyal companion who has proven time and again that he is more than just a dog, he is a protector and a friend. As Jake and his friends retreat from the park, Eli feels a renewed sense of strength within himself. He understands that standing up for oneself can take many forms. Sometimes it means allowing things to unfold naturally and trusting that courage will find its way through unexpected actions. The onlookers begin to disperse, still chuckling at what they have just witnessed. Eli takes a moment to soak in the atmosphere around him, the laughter, the camaraderie among those who stood by during the confrontation. It feels good to be part of a community that supports one another. With Jake and his crew gone, Eli resumes feeding the birds once more. He feels lighter now, knowing that he has faced down not just bullies but also his own fears. Duke settles back down beside him, content and watchful as always. As dusk settles deeper over Willow Bend, Eli reflects on how life can change in an instant. One moment can shift everything. It can turn fear into laughter and vulnerability into strength. He looks forward to whatever adventures tomorrow might bring, knowing that with Duke by his side, they are ready for anything that comes their way. Eli smiles softly as he watches the last rays of sunlight fade behind the trees. This day has shown him that courage often comes when you least expect it, and sometimes it takes just one brave act to change everything for the better. With Duke beside him, he feels ready for whatever challenges lie ahead on their journey together, a journey filled with heartwarming moments and unbreakable bonds forged through trials faced side by side. As the bullies retreat humiliated, Eli shares a knowing glance with Duke. In that moment, there is a deep understanding between them, a bond forged through shared experiences and challenges faced together. Eli reflects on how appearances can be deceiving. He knows that many people would look at him in his wheelchair and see only weakness, but he understands that true strength often lies in unexpected places. The sun continues to set over Willow Bend, casting long shadows across the park. The fading light hints at future challenges that may come their way, but Eli feels ready to face whatever lies ahead. He knows that with Duke by his side, they can tackle anything together. Eli takes a moment to appreciate the beauty around him, the gentle rustle of leaves, the soft chirping of birds settling in for the night, and the laughter of children playing in the distance. It is a reminder that life is full of small joys, even in the face of adversity. As he finishes feeding the last of the birdseed, Eli thinks about how today's events have changed him. He feels lighter, as if a weight has been lifted from his shoulders. He realizes that standing up for himself has not only strengthened his resolve, but also deepened his connection with Duke. Duke shifts slightly beside him, resting his head on Eli's knee, a comforting presence that reassures him. Eli reaches down to stroke Duke's fur, feeling grateful for his loyal companion. Together, they have faced down fear and emerged victorious. As darkness begins to envelop the park, Eli knows it is time to head home. He prepares to leave, feeling a sense of accomplishment and pride. The encounter with the bullies has shown him that courage comes in many forms, and that sometimes it takes just one brave act to inspire change. With Duke at his side, Eli rolls away from the park and toward home. The path is familiar, but tonight it feels different, charged with new possibilities and adventures waiting just around the corner. He thinks about how he will share this day's story with others, not just as a tale of triumph over bullies, but as a lesson in strength and friendship. As they make their way through Willow Bend, Eli notices the stars beginning to twinkle above them. Each star seems to shine brighter than before, reflecting the hope he feels inside. He knows that tomorrow will bring new challenges, but he also knows he is not alone. With Duke beside him, they are a team, a fearless protector, and a man who refuses to back down. Together they will face whatever comes their way, knowing that their bond will only grow stronger with each passing day. As they reach home, Eli glances back at the park one last time. The shadows have lengthened and darkness has settled in, but he feels a warmth inside that no amount of darkness can extinguish. He smiles softly at Duke before heading inside, ready to embrace whatever adventures await them next on their journey together, a journey filled with heartwarming moments and unbreakable bonds forged through trials faced side by side. Flashbacks reveal Eli's earlier life as Eli the Enforcer, showcasing moments from his career that led him to seek solace in Willow Bend after years of conflict. The scenes shift quickly, showing Eli in his prime, a strong and determined lawman who faced danger head-on. He stands tall, wearing a badge that shines brightly under the sun, a symbol of justice and authority. In one flashback, Eli chases down a notorious criminal through narrow alleyways. His heart races as he navigates the twists and turns, fueled by a sense of duty to protect his community. The adrenaline rush is palpable as he corners the suspect, showcasing his skills and bravery. The moment ends with Eli successfully apprehending the criminal, earning the respect of his peers and the gratitude of the townsfolk. Another flashback shows Eli in a tense standoff with a group of armed robbers. The scene is charged with danger as Eli stands firm, negotiating for peace while keeping everyone safe. His voice is calm but authoritative, demonstrating his ability to remain composed under pressure. The situation escalates, but Eli's quick thinking and bravery lead to a resolution without violence. This moment solidifies his reputation as Eli the Enforcer, a protector who would do anything to uphold the law. Yet, not all memories are filled with triumph. Some flashbacks reveal the toll that years of conflict have taken on him. Eli stands over a crime scene, looking down at the aftermath of violence. The weight of loss hangs heavy in the air, and Eli feels the burden of responsibility pressing down on him. He knows that every decision he makes has consequences, and sometimes those consequences are devastating. As more memories flood back, Eli recalls the day he made the choice to leave it all behind. He stands at a crossroads, contemplating his future while surrounded by reminders of his past life. The decision to seek solace in Willow Bend comes after years of fighting battles that seemed never-ending. He yearns for peace and quiet, a place where he can heal from the scars left by his former life. The flashbacks culminate in a poignant moment where Eli looks out over the calm waters of Willow Bend for the first time. There is a sense of hope in his heart as he envisions a new beginning away from chaos and conflict. He finds comfort in nature and solitude, believing that this small town can offer him the peace he desperately seeks. As these memories fade, Eli is brought back to the present moment in Willow Bend with Duke by his side. He realizes that while he has left behind a life filled with turmoil, shadows from his past still linger in his mind. The experiences that shaped him have made him stronger but also more cautious. Eli knows that even though he has found refuge in this quiet town, he cannot escape the lessons learned from being Eli the enforcer. Those lessons continue to guide him as he navigates life in Willow Bend, reminding him that courage is not just about facing external threats, but also about confronting one's own fears and vulnerabilities. With Duke beside him, Eli feels prepared to face whatever challenges may arise from those shadows of the past. He understands that true strength comes from within and that every day is an opportunity for growth and healing. Together they will continue their journey, one filled with heartwarming moments, lessons learned, and an unbreakable bond forged through trials faced side by side. A curious teenager named Sam discovers old newspaper clippings about Eli's past and confronts him while walking Duke. The clippings tell tales of Eli the enforcer, showcasing his bravery and the conflicts he faced during his lawman days. Sam is fascinated by the stories, eager to learn more about the man behind the headlines. One afternoon, as Eli rolls through the park with Duke by his side, Sam approaches him with excitement in his eyes. He has seen the articles and wants to know if they are true. Eli feels a mix of pride and reluctance at the attention. He knows that sharing his past means opening old wounds, but he also understands that it could help bridge the gap between them. Sam asks questions with genuine curiosity, and Eli finds himself drawn into the conversation. He begins to recount some of his experiences, starting with the thrill of chasing down criminals and the rush of adrenaline that came with each successful arrest. As he shares these stories, he sees Sam's eyes widen with admiration. But as the conversation deepens, Eli also feels compelled to share the darker side of his past. He talks about the moments that haunt him, the times when violence was unavoidable, and he explains how each confrontation left a mark, reminding him that every action has consequences. Sam listens intently, absorbing Eli's words. He begins to understand that being a hero is not just about bravery, it also involves sacrifice and pain. Eli emphasizes that while he once fought to protect others, he learned that true strength lies in finding peaceful solutions whenever possible. As they walk together, Duke stays close, sensing the bond forming between Eli and Sam. The dog's presence adds a layer of comfort and trust to their conversation. Eli notices how Sam's demeanor shifts as he processes everything he is learning. The teenager starts to see Eli not just as a legend from the past, but as a real person who has faced struggles similar to those he might encounter in his own life. Eli shares stories of how he wished for quieter days after leaving behind his lawman life. He tells Sam about moving to Willow Bend in search of peace and healing, hoping to escape the shadows of his past. Sam expresses admiration for Eli's courage in choosing a different path, one focused on growth instead of conflict. As they continue their walk, Eli feels a sense of relief wash over him. Opening up about his past has not only deepened their friendship but has also allowed him to confront his own memories in a new light. He realizes that sharing these experiences can help others understand the complexities of life and the importance of compassion. By the time they reach the end of their walk, a bond has formed between them, one built on trust and understanding. Sam thanks Eli for sharing his stories, promising to keep them close as he navigates his own journey through life. Eli smiles at Sam, feeling lighter than he has in a long time. He understands that while shadows from his past may linger, they do not define him. Instead, they serve as reminders of how far he has come and how important it is to guide others with wisdom gained from experience. As they part ways, Eli watches Sam walk away with Duke by his side. He feels hopeful for the future, a future where he can continue to share his story and inspire others to choose paths filled with courage and kindness rather than conflict. With each step forward, Eli knows he is not just moving through Willow Bend, he is helping shape it into a place where understanding and friendship can flourish, a place where shadows can be transformed into light through shared experiences and heartfelt connections. Meanwhile, the river rats plot their revenge against Eli after their humiliating encounter. The group gathers in a dimly lit garage, their faces tense and filled with frustration. Jake, still dripping from the fountain incident, paces back and forth, trying to rally his friends. He feels the sting of embarrassment and is determined to regain his status as the leader. As Jake talks about getting even with Eli, some members of the group exchange glances filled with doubt. They remember how easily they were intimidated by Duke and how Eli stood firm without fear. The laughter from the crowd still echoes in their minds, and they begin to question whether confronting Eli again is worth the risk. One boy, Timmy, speaks up hesitantly. He suggests that maybe they should leave Eli alone. After all, he is just an old man in a wheelchair, and they had already made fools of themselves. The others nod slightly, but Jake quickly dismisses Timmy's concerns. He insists that they can't let Eli get away with it, they need to show him who's really in charge. Tension builds within the group as Jake's anger spills over. Some members begin to feel uncomfortable with his reckless leadership. They start to wonder if Jake is more interested in revenge than in protecting them from potential consequences. The idea of facing Eli again sends a chill down their spines. As Jake continues to rant about revenge, another boy named Marcus quietly steps forward. He expresses his worries about getting into trouble with Eli again and reminds the group that they don't know much about him or Duke. Marcus suggests that instead of seeking revenge, they should find a way to avoid confrontation altogether. Jake glares at Marcus, feeling challenged by his words. He tries to brush off the suggestion, insisting that they need to show strength to earn respect. But Marcus's words linger in the air, creating doubt among the other boys. They start to question whether Jake's plan is truly wise or just a reckless pursuit of pride. The internal conflict within the river rats grows as some members begin to side with Marcus. They whisper among themselves about how they could find other ways to assert themselves without resorting to bullying or violence. The idea of standing up for what is right starts to take root in their minds. Jake notices the shift in energy within the group and feels threatened by it. He raises his voice, trying to assert control over the situation, but his anger only pushes some members further away from him. They are beginning to see that there may be more honor in choosing kindness over conflict. As discussions continue, tension mounts between those who support Jake and those who are starting to question his leadership. The once tight-knit group begins to fracture under the weight of their own choices and fears. In this moment of uncertainty, Jake realizes he must do something drastic to regain control and prove he is still the leader. He decides that they will confront Eli one last time, but with a new plan, one that involves more than just intimidation. The meeting ends with a sense of unease hanging in the air as members leave the garage feeling conflicted about what lies ahead. Some are drawn into Jake's reckless ambition, while others feel a growing sense of doubt about following him into another confrontation with Eli. As the river rats disperse into the night, each boy carries his own thoughts about loyalty, courage, and what it truly means to be strong. The seeds of change have been planted within their group. Whether they will grow or be crushed under pressure remains uncertain. Meanwhile, Eli continues his journey through Willow Bend, unaware of the brewing storm around him. He focuses on building connections and friendships while confronting shadows from his past. Little does he know that challenges may soon arise from unexpected places as old rivalries resurface and new choices come into play. With Duke by his side, Eli remains ready for whatever comes next, a testament to resilience in the face of adversity and a reminder that true strength often lies in understanding oneself and others along the way. A surprise attack occurs when the river rats ambush Eli in the park during a community event. The atmosphere is lively, filled with laughter and the sounds of children playing. Families gather, enjoying the festivities, unaware of the brewing tension that is about to erupt. Eli is at a small booth, chatting with some friendly neighbors, while Duke lies calmly at his feet. The sun shines brightly overhead, and for a moment, Eli feels at peace, grateful for the connections he has built in Willow Bend. But that sense of tranquility is shattered when he catches sight of Jake and the river rats lurking at the edge of the crowd. The boys exchange glances, their expressions filled with mischief and determination. They have come to settle the score with Eli, fueled by Jake's reckless ambition and the desire to prove their strength. As they move closer, Eli's instincts kick in. He feels a familiar tension creeping back into his chest. Before Eli can react, Jake signals to his friends, and they charge forward, pushing through the crowd. The surprise attack catches Eli off guard. He braces himself as they surround him, their laughter and taunts ringing in his ears. The joyful atmosphere of the community event quickly turns to confusion and fear as people begin to notice the commotion. Duke senses danger immediately. With a fierce growl, he leaps to his feet, positioning himself protectively in front of Eli. The dog's presence is commanding, and for a moment, it halts the bullies in their tracks. They hesitate, unsure if they want to face Duke again after their last encounter. But Jake pushes through his fear, determined to assert his dominance. He lunges toward Eli's wheelchair, trying to shove it backward. Just as it seems they might overpower him, 𝗗𝗜𝗦𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗦 springs into action with incredible speed and agility. The loyal dog lunges forward, barking loudly as he intercepts Jake with a powerful leap. 𝗗𝗜𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗦's fierce determination catches everyone off guard. The bullies are thrown into chaos as 𝗗𝗜𝗦𝗧𝗏 stands between them and Eli, teeth bared and ready to defend his owner at all costs. The crowd gasps at the sudden turn of events, eyes wide with shock as they witness 𝗗𝗜𝗦𝗧𝗏's bravery. Eli feels a surge of pride for 𝗗𝗜𝗦𝗧𝗏 as he watches his loyal companion defend him fiercely. In this moment of chaos, Eli realizes that he is not alone. He has someone who will always stand by him when danger arises. With renewed strength from 𝗗𝗜𝗦𝗧𝗏's protection, Eli takes a deep breath and prepares to face the bullies head-on. As Jake tries to regain control over the situation, he shouts commands at his friends. But fear begins to creep into their hearts as they see 𝗗𝗜𝗦𝗧𝗏's unwavering stance. The dog growls lowly, warning them that any attempt to advance will be met with force. The community members start to gather around them, witnessing the unfolding confrontation. Whispers ripple through the crowd as people begin to recognize Eli and 𝗗𝗜𝗦𝗧𝗏 from previous encounters. They rally behind Eli, showing their support against the bullies who had once thought themselves invincible. With 𝗗𝗜𝗦𝗧𝗏 standing strong beside him, Eli feels empowered. He knows that this is not just about him, it's about standing up against bullying and protecting those who cannot protect themselves. He locks eyes with Jake and speaks with calm authority, reminding him that true strength comes from respect and kindness, not from intimidation or violence. The tension hangs heavy in the air as Jake realizes he may have underestimated both Eli and 𝗗𝗜𝗦𝗧𝗏 once again. The crowd's support grows louder as people start to cheer for Eli and 𝗗𝗜𝗦𝗧𝗏, encouraging them to stand firm against the river rats. In this climactic moment of confrontation, something shifts within Jake and some members of the river rats. They begin to feel doubt about their actions as they see how united the community has become in support of Eli. The laughter that once fueled their bravado fades into silence as they weigh their options. As 𝗗𝗜𝗦𝗧𝗏 continues to protect Eli with fierce determination, Jake slowly steps back, realizing that this fight is not worth losing face over again. The other boys follow suit hesitantly, they can feel the tide turning against them. Eli watches as Jake finally turns away from him and retreats with his friends in tow. The crowd erupts into cheers for Eli and 𝗗𝗜𝗦𝗧𝗏, a celebration of courage over intimidation. In this moment of triumph amidst chaos, Eli knows that he has not only defended himself, but also inspired others around him to stand up against bullying in all its forms. With 𝗗𝗜𝗦𝗧𝗏 by his side, he feels an unbreakable bond forged through trials faced together. As peace returns to the park once more, Eli reflects on how far he has come since those early days filled with shadows from his past. He understands that true strength lies not just in physical power, but in standing up for what is right, together with those who believe in kindness and courage. With this victory behind them, Eli looks forward to new adventures ahead, knowing that no matter what challenges arise next on their journey together, they will face them side by side with unwavering loyalty and heart. In an unexpected twist during the chaos, Sam accidentally knocks over a table filled with snacks, creating a slapstick moment that lightens the mood and distracts both sides momentarily. As the crowd cheers for Eli and 𝗗𝗜𝗦𝗧𝗏, Sam rushes into the fray, trying to get a better look at what's happening. In his excitement, he trips over a stray foot and collides with the snack table. The table tilts precariously before toppling over completely, sending plates of cookies, chips, and drinks flying through the air. The snacks scatter everywhere, landing on the ground with a loud thud and splattering onto nearby spectators. The sudden mess catches everyone off guard, and for a brief moment, the tension in the air dissipates as laughter erupts from the crowd. Eli watches as chips bounce off Jake's head and soda splashes onto one of the other bullies. The unexpected hilarity breaks through the seriousness of the moment. Even Duke seems to pause, his ears perked up in curiosity at the sudden change in atmosphere. The bullies look at each other in confusion, their bravado faltering as they try to process what just happened. Jake's face is smeared with frosting from a cupcake that landed squarely on his forehead. The sight is so ridiculous that even he can't help but crack a smile despite himself. Sam stands frozen for a moment, eyes wide as he realizes what he has done. He feels embarrassed but also relieved that he has unintentionally lightened the mood. The laughter from the crowd grows louder as people begin to help clean up the mess, offering napkins and joking about the snack disaster. Eli takes advantage of this unexpected distraction. He uses it as an opportunity to remind everyone about community and friendship. He encourages those around him to come together not just to clean up but also to support one another against bullying. As people start to gather snacks from the ground, Eli notices some of the river rats looking unsure of what to do next. The laughter and camaraderie among community members begin to chip away at their resolve. They see how quickly things can shift from confrontation to connection with just a little humor. Jake tries to regain his composure but finds it difficult amidst all the laughter. The crowd's energy has shifted from fear and tension to joy and unity, making it harder for him to rally his friends for another attempt at intimidation. As Duke stands proudly beside Eli, he senses that the moment has turned in their favor. Eli feels grateful for Sam's accidental mishap. It has transformed a potentially dangerous situation into one filled with laughter and togetherness. With snacks scattered around them like confetti, Eli looks at Duke and smiles. They have faced down bullies together before, but this time they have also shown how powerful community support can be when standing against negativity. As Jake and his friends begin to retreat further into the background, Eli feels a sense of victory wash over him once more. He knows that while challenges may still lie ahead, they have proven that kindness and humor can triumph over fear. The crowd continues to enjoy themselves despite the mess, chatting and laughing as they share snacks from what remains on the table. Eli takes this opportunity to engage with those around him, reinforcing friendships and building connections that will strengthen their community even further. In this light-hearted moment amidst chaos, Eli realizes that sometimes unexpected events can lead to important lessons about unity and resilience. With Duke by his side, he feels ready for whatever comes next, knowing that together they can turn any challenge into an opportunity for growth and understanding. As calm returns to the park, Eli reassures Sam that he can handle himself. He watches as the crowd begins to disperse, laughter still echoing in the air, but he knows that the river rats may not be finished just yet. Eli acknowledges that while he may be old and in a wheelchair, he is far from defenseless. His experiences have taught him valuable lessons about courage and resilience. Sam looks up at Eli with admiration, still buzzing from the excitement of the day. Eli smiles back, grateful for the connection they have formed. He knows that sharing his past has not only helped Sam understand him better but has also inspired the young boy to stand up for what is right. Eli feels a sense of pride knowing that he is making a difference in someone else's life. As they begin to clean up the remnants of the snack table, Eli reflects on how quickly things can change. Just moments ago, fear and tension filled the air, but now there is a sense of unity among the community members. They come together to help, picking up scattered snacks and chatting about their shared experiences. Eli realizes that this is what true strength looks like, people supporting one another in times of need. The shadows lengthen around them as the sun begins to set, casting a warm glow over Willow Bend. Eli feels a mix of hope and apprehension about what may come next. He knows that while they have triumphed today, challenges could still arise from those who do not understand the power of kindness. Duke sits patiently by Eli's side, his presence a constant source of comfort and strength. Eli reaches down to pat Duke's head, feeling grateful for his loyal companion who has stood by him through thick and thin. The bond between them has deepened further through this day's events, and Eli knows they will face whatever comes together. As they finish cleaning up, Eli takes a moment to look around at the park filled with families enjoying each other's company. He feels a sense of belonging here in Willow Bend, a place where he can be himself without fear of judgment. This community has welcomed him with open arms, and he is determined to protect it in any way he can. Sam finishes tidying up and looks at Eli with curiosity. He asks if Eli thinks there will be more trouble from Jake and the river rats. Eli pauses for a moment, considering his response. He understands Sam's concerns but also knows that fear should not dictate their actions. Eli reassures Sam that they will be ready if anything happens again. He explains that standing up for oneself is important, but so is knowing when to seek support from others. Together they can face any challenge that comes their way. As they prepare to leave the park, Eli feels a renewed sense of purpose. He knows that each day brings new opportunities for growth and understanding, not just for himself but for those around him as well. With Duke by his side and Sam walking alongside him, Eli rolls away from the park feeling hopeful about the future. The shadows may lengthen around them as night falls, but within him burns a light of resilience and courage that cannot be extinguished. Eli understands that while shadows from his past may linger, they do not define him or his journey ahead. Instead, they serve as reminders of how far he has come and how important it is to continue standing up for what is right. As they head home together, Eli reflects on the lessons learned today about friendship, bravery, and the strength found in community. With every challenge faced and every bond forged, he knows they are building a brighter future together, one filled with heartwarming moments and unbreakable connections forged through trials faced side by side. A mysterious figure arrives in Willow Bend with knowledge about Eli's past and intentions that could change everything for him and the town's safety. The newcomer steps into the quiet town as the sun sets, casting long shadows down the streets. Dressed in a long coat and a wide-brimmed hat, the figure keeps their head down, obscuring their face from view. As they walk through Willow Bend, whispers begin to circulate among the townsfolk. Some recognize the stranger's presence as unusual, while others feel an unsettling aura surrounding them. The figure moves with purpose, heading straight toward the park where Eli and Duke had just left. Meanwhile, Eli is at home, reflecting on the day's events. He feels a sense of peace wash over him as he sits in his favorite chair, Duke resting at his feet. The warmth of the evening wraps around them like a comforting blanket. But as Eli relaxes, a feeling of unease begins to creep into his mind. The doorbell rings suddenly, breaking the tranquility of the moment. Eli glances at Duke, who raises his head, alert and watchful. Eli rolls himself to the door and opens it cautiously. Standing before him is the mysterious figure, their face still hidden in shadow. Eli feels a jolt of apprehension as he senses that this visitor is not just an ordinary person. The figure speaks softly but firmly, introducing themselves as someone who has come to warn Eli about potential dangers that lie ahead. As they share information about Eli's past, details that only someone close to him would know, Eli's heart races. The stranger reveals that they have been following Eli's journey since he left his former life behind. They explain that old enemies may have tracked him down and pose a threat not just to him but also to Willow Bend. Eli listens intently, feeling a mix of fear and determination rise within him. He realizes that while he has tried to leave his past behind, it may not be so easy after all. The stranger emphasizes that they have come to help and that they understand the importance of protecting both Eli and the community. Duke stands protectively beside Eli, sensing his owner's tension. The dog's instincts kick in as he watches the stranger closely, ready to defend if necessary. Eli reassures Duke with a gentle touch, knowing that they must assess this situation carefully. The mysterious figure explains that there are signs of trouble brewing in Willow Bend, rumors of groups forming with intentions to disrupt the peace and take advantage of vulnerabilities within the community. They urge Eli to prepare for what may come next. Eli feels a weight settle on his shoulders as he absorbs this information. He knows that he has faced challenges before, but this feels different, more serious and potentially dangerous. He understands that his role as a protector extends beyond himself. It now includes everyone in Willow Bend who has welcomed him into their lives. As they talk further, Eli begins to formulate a plan. He knows he cannot face these challenges alone. He will need support from those around him. The stranger offers to assist him in rallying the community together for protection against any threats that may arise. With resolve growing within him, Eli realizes that this is not just about defending himself, it is about standing up for everything he has come to love in Willow Bend, the friendships he has built and the sense of belonging he has found. As night falls deeper around them, Eli feels a gathering storm on the horizon, not just in nature but within his own life as well. He knows that challenges are coming, but with Duke by his side and newfound allies in this mysterious figure, he feels ready to confront whatever lies ahead. Together they will prepare for battle, not just against old enemies, but also for the safety and unity of their beloved town. In this moment of uncertainty, Eli understands that true strength comes from facing fears head-on and standing together against adversity. The stage is set for what may be one of the most significant battles yet, a test of courage, loyalty, and resilience for Eli Jenkins and all those who call Willow Bend home. Eli learns from Sam that rumors about him are spreading among residents. The next day, as they walk through Willow Bend, Sam shares what he has heard from friends and neighbors. Some people admire Eli for his bravery, while others express concern about his past and whether it could bring trouble to the town. Eli listens carefully, feeling a mix of emotions. He understands that his history as Eli the Enforcer is not just a part of him, it is something that affects how others see him. Sam explains that some residents believe Eli should confront his past directly, while others think he should keep a low profile to avoid attracting unwanted attention. As they continue their walk, Eli reflects on the conversations happening around him. He can sense the uncertainty in the air, and he knows that people are worried about what might happen if old enemies come looking for him. The thought weighs heavily on his heart. Sam shares stories of how some townsfolk have begun to talk about forming a community watch to protect themselves. They want to ensure that everyone feels safe, especially with the rumors swirling about Eli's past. Eli feels a sense of pride knowing that people are willing to stand together, but he also worries about the potential conflict it could bring. Eli stops for a moment and looks at Sam. He appreciates the young boy's concern and curiosity. Sam has become a friend and ally, someone who believes in Eli's strength and resilience. Eli knows he must be honest with Sam about his feelings. He explains that while he wants to protect Willow Bend, he also fears that confronting his past could put everyone in danger. He shares stories of the difficult choices he had to make as a lawman and how those choices still haunt him today. Sam listens intently, absorbing every word. As they walk further, Eli notices other residents watching them closely. Some nod in recognition, while others whisper among themselves. He realizes that their opinions matter, and how he chooses to respond to this situation will shape not only his future but also the future of Willow Bend. Eli feels a growing sense of responsibility. He knows he cannot hide from his past forever, but he also understands that rushing into confrontation without careful thought could lead to more harm than good. He considers how best to approach this delicate situation. Sam suggests organizing a town meeting where everyone can come together to discuss their feelings and concerns openly. Eli thinks this is a great idea. It would allow residents to voice their opinions and help them feel more connected during uncertain times. As they make their way back home, Eli feels a renewed sense of purpose. He understands that facing his past is not just about him, it's about the community he has come to love. He realizes that by bringing people together, they can strengthen their bonds and prepare for whatever challenges lie ahead. With Duke trotting alongside him, Eli feels more determined than ever to take action. He knows that true strength comes from unity and understanding. By engaging with the community and addressing their fears head-on, he hopes to foster an environment where everyone feels safe and supported. The stage is set for an important gathering, a chance for Eli to share his story and for the residents of Willow Bend to come together as one. As they approach home, Eli reflects on how far he has come since arriving in this town filled with shadows from his past. He understands that while challenges may still arise, they will face them together, stronger as a community united by courage, loyalty, and friendship. With Duke by his side and Sam's support behind him, Eli feels ready to embrace whatever comes next in this unfolding journey filled with heartwarming moments and unbreakable connections forged through trials faced side by side. Tensions rise as the river rats become increasingly aggressive, targeting local businesses to gain leverage against Eli. The group, feeling humiliated from their previous encounter, starts to act out in ways that threaten the peace of Willow Bend. They vandalize storefronts, knock over displays, and intimidate shopkeepers, all in an effort to assert their dominance and draw Eli out. Eli begins to hear whispers of the trouble brewing in town. He learns that several local business owners have been approached by the river rats, who demand money or threaten to cause more damage. The once friendly atmosphere of Willow Bend is tainted by fear and uncertainty as residents worry about their safety and the future of their community. As Eli rolls through town with Duke by his side, he can feel the tension in the air. People look at him with a mix of admiration and concern. He knows they are counting on him to take action, but he also feels the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. The shadows of his past loom larger as he contemplates how to respond. Eli finds himself at a crossroads. Should he confront the river rats directly and risk escalating the situation? Or should he maintain a low profile, hoping that the storm will pass without further incident? The choice weighs heavily on his mind as he considers what is best for both himself and the community he has come to love. He reflects on his past experiences as a lawman, the times when he faced danger head-on and the consequences that followed. Eli knows that standing up for what is right often comes with risks, but he also understands that allowing fear to dictate his actions could lead to greater harm. As he continues through town, Eli sees the impact of the river rat's aggression on his neighbors. Shopkeepers look anxious, children play cautiously, and families huddle together, whispering about the trouble brewing around them. Eli feels a deep sense of empathy for those affected by the bullies' actions. Duke senses Eli's turmoil and stays close, offering silent support. Eli reaches down to pet Duke's head, drawing strength from their bond. He knows that whatever choice he makes will not only affect him but also everyone in Willow Bend. Eli decides that he cannot remain passive while his friends and neighbors suffer. He understands that true strength comes from standing up for others and fostering a sense of unity within the community. With this realization, Eli feels a spark of determination ignite within him. He begins to formulate a plan, not just for himself but for all of Willow Bend. He envisions gathering the townsfolk together to discuss their concerns openly and devise a way to confront the river rats as a united front. Eli believes that by coming together, they can show strength against intimidation and reclaim their sense of safety. As he heads home, Eli feels more resolved than ever. He knows that challenges lie ahead, but with Duke by his side and support from Sam and other community members, he feels ready to face whatever comes next. The stage is set for a pivotal moment, a chance for Eli to lead Willow Bend in standing up against fear and bullying. With each passing moment, Eli understands that he is not just fighting for himself, he is fighting for the heart of Willow Bend, a place filled with friendships, courage, and resilience. As night falls around them once more, Eli prepares for what may be one of the most significant battles yet, a test of loyalty and strength for him and all those who call this town home. A showdown occurs at an abandoned warehouse outside town where old scores are settled. The river rats, fueled by their recent aggression and the desire to reclaim their power, have set the stage for a confrontation with Eli. They believe that by intimidating him one last time, they can silence him and assert their dominance over Willow Bend. Eli arrives at the warehouse with Duke by his side, feeling the weight of the moment pressing down on him. He knows this is not just a battle for himself, but a fight for the safety of his community. As he approaches the building, memories flood back, flashbacks of his time as Eli the Enforcer, moments that shaped him into the man he is today. In one flashback, Eli recalls a tense standoff with a dangerous gang during his law enforcement days. He remembers the adrenaline coursing through his veins as he faced down armed criminals, determined to protect innocent lives. The fearlessness he felt then contrasts sharply with the apprehension he feels now, knowing that this confrontation could have serious consequences. As Eli enters the warehouse, he sees Jake and the river rats waiting for him, their faces twisted with anger and defiance. The atmosphere is charged with tension, and Eli can sense that this is a pivotal moment, not just for himself but for everyone in Willow Bend. He takes a deep breath, reminding himself of why he left law enforcement behind, to find peace and protect those he cares about. Another flashback surfaces, Eli standing in front of a judge after a particularly violent encounter. He remembers the weight of responsibility resting on his shoulders as he realized that every choice he made had consequences. That day marked a turning point for him. It was when he decided to step away from a life filled with conflict and seek solace in Willow Bend. Back in the present, Eli locks eyes with Jake, who stands at the front of the group, trying to assert his authority. The tension between them is palpable as Eli feels the ghosts of his past rising to meet him. He knows that confronting Jake means facing not only this bully but also the fears that have haunted him since leaving his old life behind. Duke stands tall beside Eli, sensing his owner's determination. The dog's presence gives Eli strength as he prepares to speak up. He knows that this moment is not just about physical confrontation, it's about standing firm in his beliefs and protecting those who cannot protect themselves. Eli addresses Jake and the river rats, reminding them that true strength lies in respect and kindness, not in intimidation or violence. He speaks from the heart, sharing how he has chosen to live in peace rather than continue down a path of conflict. His words resonate with some of the boys who begin to question their loyalty to Jake's reckless leadership. As tensions rise, Eli feels a surge of courage within him. He recalls another flashback, one filled with hope where he helped bring a community together after overcoming adversity. In that moment, he realizes that he has not only fought battles against external threats, but has also battled within himself to become a better person. The confrontation escalates as Jake tries to rally his friends against Eli, but doubts begin to creep into their minds. Some members of the River Rats glance at each other uncertainly, feeling torn between loyalty to Jake and recognizing Eli's strength and resolve. Eli stands firm, knowing that this moment could change everything, not just for him, but for Willow Bend as well. He understands that facing down fear is not just about standing up against bullies, it's about inspiring others to choose courage over conflict. As tensions reach their peak, Duke lets out a low growl, ready to protect Eli if necessary. The atmosphere is electric with anticipation as both sides prepare for what could be an explosive confrontation. In this climactic moment filled with uncertainty and potential change, Eli knows that whatever happens next will define not only his future but also the future of Willow Bend, a test of loyalty, courage, and resilience for everyone involved. With every heartbeat echoing in his chest, Eli prepares to confront not just Jake but also the shadows from his past that have followed him here. This is more than just a battle, it is an opportunity for redemption and unity, a chance to reclaim peace and safety for all those who call Willow Bend home. Just when things appear dire for Eli and Duke, an unexpected ally, a former colleague, arrives to assist him. The heavy atmosphere in the warehouse is thick with tension, and Eli feels the weight of the moment pressing down on him. He braces himself for the confrontation with Jake and the River Rats, but just as it seems that the situation might escalate, a familiar voice calls out from the entrance. "Eli! I thought I'd find you here." The voice cuts through the tension like a knife, and Eli's heart lifts as he turns to see his old friend, Tom, stepping into the warehouse. Tom was once a fellow lawman, someone who had stood by Eli during some of his toughest days. The sight of him brings a wave of relief and hope. The River Rats pause, confusion flickering across their faces as they take in this new development. Jake scowls, clearly annoyed that Eli has reinforcements. Eli can't help but smile at Tom's arrival, it feels like a breath of fresh air amidst the storm. Tom strides forward confidently, his presence radiating strength and camaraderie. He greets Eli with a firm handshake and a grin that reminds Eli of their shared history. "I heard you might be needing some backup," Tom says with a wink, lightening the mood just as tensions begin to rise again. Eli feels a rush of gratitude for his friend's support. The banter between them flows easily as they reminisce about old times, stories of chasing down criminals and navigating tricky situations together. Their laughter echoes through the warehouse, breaking the heavy silence that had settled over the confrontation. The river rats look increasingly uncertain as they witness this unexpected alliance. Jake tries to regain control of the situation but finds it difficult to maintain his bravado in the face of Eli's renewed confidence with Tom by his side. As Eli and Tom exchange stories, Duke relaxes slightly, sensing that the mood has shifted. The dog remains vigilant but no longer appears on high alert. Eli knows that having Tom there not only boosts his own morale but also sends a message to Jake and the others: they are not alone in this fight. Tom turns to face Jake and the river rats, his expression serious now. "You boys really need to think about what you're doing," he says firmly. "This isn't just about Eli anymore, it's about everyone in this town who deserves to feel safe." The words resonate with some of the boys standing behind Jake. They begin to shift uncomfortably, realizing that their actions have consequences beyond just their rivalry with Eli. The atmosphere in the warehouse begins to change as doubt seeps into their minds. Eli takes this opportunity to speak up, reminding everyone present that true strength lies not in bullying or intimidation but in standing together as a community. He emphasizes that they can choose to be part of something greater than themselves, a place where kindness and respect prevail over fear. As Eli speaks, he notices some members of the river rats exchanging glances. They seem to be reconsidering their choices, caught between loyalty to Jake and the growing realization that their actions are harming their own community. Tom adds a light-hearted comment about one of their past escapades, causing laughter to ripple through both sides. The tension begins to dissipate further as people start to see each other not as enemies but as individuals who share a common home. In this moment of levity amidst uncertainty, Eli feels empowered. He knows that they have turned a corner, not just for himself but for everyone in Willow Bend. With Tom's arrival and their shared history bringing strength to their cause, he realizes they can confront Jake and the river rats together. As laughter fills the warehouse, Eli understands that this confrontation is not just about settling old scores, it is an opportunity for healing and unity within Willow Bend. With Duke by his side and Tom standing strong with him, he feels ready to face whatever comes next. This unexpected alliance has changed everything. It has transformed what could have been a dire situation into one filled with hope and possibility. Together, they will stand against fear and intimidation, reclaiming peace for themselves and their community once more. Eli realizes he cannot escape his legacy forever. As the laughter fades and the atmosphere shifts back to a serious tone, he understands that the time for confrontation has come. The presence of Tom and Duke gives him strength, but deep down, Eli knows that he must face the shadows of his past head-on. In this moment of reflection, Eli thinks about the choices he has made throughout his life. Each decision, each path taken or avoided, has led him to this very moment, a moment filled with both uncertainty and opportunity. He recalls the reasons he left law enforcement behind, seeking peace and a fresh start in Willow Bend. Yet now, it seems those choices have brought him back to the very conflicts he hoped to escape. Eli's mind drifts to memories of his early days as a lawman, the thrill of justice served and the weight of lives affected by his actions. He remembers the friends he lost and the burdens he carried, realizing that every choice came with its own set of consequences. Those experiences shaped him into the man he is today, but they also haunt him. As he stands in the warehouse surrounded by allies and adversaries alike, Eli feels a mix of fear and determination. He knows that confronting Jake and the river rats is not just about protecting himself, it is about reclaiming his place in this community and ensuring that Willow Bend remains a safe haven for everyone. Eli takes a deep breath, grounding himself in the present moment. He understands that while he cannot change the past, he can influence the future. The choices he makes now will define not only his legacy but also what kind of community Willow Bend will be moving forward. With Tom and Duke by his side, Eli prepares to speak. He knows this is a pivotal moment, a chance to share his story, to explain why he chose to leave behind a life filled with conflict, and to show that true strength lies in unity and understanding. He hopes that by opening up about his past, he can inspire others to choose courage over fear. As Eli looks around at the faces gathered in the warehouse, some filled with doubt, others with hope, he feels a sense of purpose wash over him. This is not just about him, it is about everyone who has ever felt powerless or afraid. It is about standing together against bullying and intimidation. With each heartbeat echoing in his chest, Eli steels himself for what lies ahead. He knows challenges will come, but he also knows that they are stronger together. The bonds forged through shared experiences will help them face whatever threats arise. As night falls outside the warehouse, Eli feels ready for this moment of reckoning. He understands that while shadows from his past may linger, they do not define him or dictate his future. Instead, they serve as reminders of how far he has come and how important it is to stand up for what is right. With renewed resolve, Eli prepares to confront Jake and the river rats, not just for himself but for all those who call Willow Bend home. This is a chance for healing, unity, and reclaiming peace. Together with Tom and Duke by his side, Eli feels empowered to face whatever comes next in this unfolding journey filled with heartwarming moments and unbreakable connections forged through trials faced side by side. As tensions escalate in Willow Bend, Eli's past catches up with him when an old rival resurfaces with a personal vendetta against him and seeks revenge through the river rats. The atmosphere in town grows increasingly charged as rumors swirl about a new threat, one that is more dangerous than Eli had anticipated. The river rats, emboldened by their recent actions, are now being manipulated by someone who knows Eli all too well. This rival, a figure from Eli's law enforcement days, has returned to settle old scores. They have been watching Eli from the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The news spreads quickly through town, reaching Eli just as he prepares for the upcoming confrontation. Eli feels a knot tighten in his stomach as he realizes that this is not just about the river rats anymore, it's about a personal vendetta that could put everyone he cares about in danger. He remembers the rival's name, Marcus, and the chaos they once caused together. Marcus was relentless and cunning, always looking for ways to undermine those around him. Their history is filled with conflict, and Eli knows that Marcus will stop at nothing to achieve his goals. As Eli gathers his thoughts, he shares this new information with Tom and Sam. They listen intently, concern etched on their faces. Eli explains that Marcus has always been a master manipulator, using others to do his bidding. He fears that the river rats are being used as pawns in Marcus's game of revenge. Tom suggests they gather the townsfolk immediately to inform them of the new threat. Eli agrees, they need to unite the community now more than ever. He understands that facing Marcus will require not just strength, but also solidarity among the residents of Willow Bend. As they prepare for the meeting, Eli reflects on how far he has come since arriving in this town filled with shadows from his past. He knows that confronting Marcus means facing his fears head-on and standing firm against an enemy who knows his weaknesses. The stakes are higher than ever, and Eli feels the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. Duke remains by Eli's side, sensing the tension in the air. The dog's loyalty gives Eli comfort as he steels himself for what lies ahead. He knows that together with Tom, Sam, and the rest of Willow Bend, they can confront this challenge and protect their home. As night falls over Willow Bend once again, Eli gathers everyone at the community center. The room fills with concerned faces as he shares the news about Marcus and his plans to use the river rats against them. The atmosphere is thick with anxiety, but Eli's resolve shines through. He speaks passionately about unity and strength in numbers, urging everyone to stand together against this threat. As he looks around at his neighbors, people who have become friends and allies, Eli feels a renewed sense of purpose. They are not just fighting for themselves, they are fighting for each other and for the future of their town. With Duke at his side and Tom's unwavering support backing him up, Eli prepares for what may be one of the most significant battles yet, a confrontation not just against an old rival, but against fear itself. Together they will stand strong against whatever challenges arise from this gathering storm, ready to reclaim peace and safety for all who call Willow Bend home. Sam struggles with admiration for Eli's legendary status, while fearing what might happen if he reveals too much about his history to others in town. As the meeting at the community center wraps up, he feels a mix of pride and anxiety. Eli has become a symbol of strength and resilience in Willow Bend, but Sam worries that the more people know about Eli's past, the more they might judge him. After the meeting, Sam finds himself lingering in the back of the room, watching as neighbors discuss their plans for confronting Marcus and the river rats. He admires Eli's courage and how he inspires others to stand up against fear. But with this admiration comes a nagging worry: what if the townsfolk learn about Eli's past as Eli the Enforcer? Would they still see him as a hero, or would they view him through the lens of his former life filled with conflict? As Sam reflects on these thoughts, he recalls moments from Eli's past that he has heard about, stories of bravery, but also tales of difficult choices and consequences. He knows that while Eli has changed and sought peace, those stories could resurface and complicate things for everyone involved. Sam approaches Eli after the meeting, feeling a mix of excitement and apprehension. He wants to express his admiration, but also share his concerns about how much people should know about Eli's history. He feels torn between wanting to protect Eli's reputation and wanting to honor the truth of who he is. Eli notices Sam's hesitation and encourages him to speak freely. As Sam opens up about his worries, Eli listens carefully, understanding the weight of Sam's concerns. He reassures Sam that while his past is a part of him, it does not define who he is today. Eli emphasizes that everyone has a story, and it is important to acknowledge both the good and the bad. With Duke sitting patiently beside them, Sam feels comforted by Eli's words. He realizes that being open about their experiences can foster understanding and connection within the community. Instead of hiding from his past, perhaps it is better for Eli to share it in a way that helps others learn from it. As they discuss this further, Sam begins to feel more confident about how to approach the topic with others in town. He understands that while there may be fears surrounding Eli's history, there is also great strength in vulnerability. By sharing his journey, Eli can show that change is possible and that true courage lies in facing one's past. With renewed determination, Sam decides he will support Eli in whatever way he can. He wants to help bridge the gap between Eli's legendary status and the reality of who he is now, a man fighting for peace and unity in Willow Bend. As they leave the community center together, Sam feels a sense of purpose growing within him. He knows that standing by Eli means standing up for what is right, not just for himself but for everyone in their town. Together they will face whatever challenges arise from this gathering storm, ready to reclaim peace and safety for all who call Willow Bend home. With Duke trotting alongside them, Sam feels empowered by his friendship with Eli. They are not just allies, they are partners in this journey toward healing and unity, a journey filled with heartwarming moments and unbreakable connections forged through trials faced side by side. Eli must forge alliances with unlikely characters within Willow Bend while dealing with betrayal from within. An old friend turns against him under pressure from Jake's gang. As Eli and Sam walk through town, they begin to strategize on how to rally support from the community. They know that confronting Marcus and the river rats will require more than just courage, it will take a united front. Eli thinks of the various townsfolk he has met since arriving in Willow Bend. Some are strong and dependable, while others are more cautious or hesitant. He knows he needs to reach out to those who might not seem like natural allies, but could still play a crucial role in standing up against the river rats. As they approach the local diner, Eli spots a familiar face, Maggie, the owner of the diner and a respected figure in town. Eli remembers how she has always been supportive of the community, often organizing events that bring people together. He hopes she will be willing to help him rally support. Inside the diner, Eli and Sam find Maggie chatting with some customers. Eli approaches her, feeling hopeful. He shares his concerns about the river rats and Marcus, explaining how important it is for everyone to come together to protect their town. Maggie listens intently, her expression serious as she considers the situation. While Maggie seems supportive, Eli can sense hesitation in her demeanor. She mentions that some residents are afraid of getting involved, worried about potential backlash from Jake's gang. Eli understands their fears but emphasizes that standing together is their best chance for safety. Maggie nods, but expresses concern about how to convince others to join their cause. Just then, a loud voice booms from the back of the diner. It's Hank, an old friend of Eli's who has always been a bit rough around the edges. Hank has a reputation for being tough but fair, and Eli hopes he can count on him for support. As Hank approaches, Eli greets him warmly. But instead of camaraderie, Hank's expression is tense. He reveals that he has been hearing whispers about Jake's gang and their plans to retaliate against anyone who stands up to them. The pressure from Jake's gang is palpable, and Hank admits he is worried about his own safety and that of his family. Eli feels a pang of disappointment as he realizes that even an old friend like Hank is feeling the weight of fear. He tries to reassure Hank that they can face this challenge together, but Hank's eyes show doubt. The pressure from Jake's gang is causing divisions among friends and allies. As they talk, Eli notices another figure lurking at the edge of the diner, a man named Rick who has always been a bit of a loner in town. Rick has a reputation for being unpredictable and has often kept to himself. Eli wonders if Rick might be persuaded to join their cause despite his solitary nature. Eli approaches Rick cautiously, hoping to gauge his interest in standing up against Marcus and the river rats. To his surprise, Rick seems intrigued by the idea of taking action, but remains skeptical about whether it would make a difference. Eli realizes that convincing Rick will require more than just words. He needs to show him that unity can create real change. As Eli navigates these complex relationships within Willow Bend, he begins to feel the weight of betrayal looming over him. The realization that even those he once considered friends might turn against him under pressure weighs heavily on his heart. He understands that trust is fragile and that alliances must be forged carefully. With each conversation, Eli becomes more determined to prove that standing together is worth the risk. He knows that if they can unite even those who seem unlikely allies, like Rick, they can create a powerful force against fear and intimidation. As night falls again over Willow Bend, Eli feels both hopeful and anxious about what lies ahead. The stakes have never been higher, and he knows that betrayal could come from unexpected places. But with Duke by his side and Sam's unwavering support backing him up, he feels ready to face whatever challenges arise. Together they will work tirelessly to forge alliances within their community while preparing for the final stand against Marcus and the river rats, a test of loyalty and resilience that will determine not only their futures but also the future of Willow Bend itself. A climactic battle erupts between Eli's newfound allies and the river rats at the community center where tensions reach their peak. The atmosphere is electric as townsfolk gather ready to stand together against the threat posed by Marcus and his gang. Eli, with Duke by his side, takes a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment pressing down on him. As the crowd fills the community center, Eli looks around at the faces of his friends and neighbors. Some are familiar, while others are new allies who have come forward to support him in this fight. He feels a surge of gratitude for their courage and determination. This is not just about him anymore, it is about everyone who calls Willow Bend home. The river rats arrive, led by Jake and Marcus, their expressions filled with anger and defiance. Eli can see that they are ready for a confrontation, but he knows that they underestimate the strength of unity among the townsfolk. As the two sides face off, Eli's heart races with anticipation. In this moment of high tension, flashbacks begin to unfold in Eli's mind, key moments from his past that shaped his decisions and brought him to this critical fight. He remembers his early days as a lawman, standing up for what was right even when it was difficult. He recalls the friends he lost along the way and the lessons learned about loyalty and courage. One flashback highlights a time when he faced a similar situation, a standoff with a gang that threatened his community. Eli had chosen to confront them head-on, knowing that backing down would only lead to more fear and suffering. That decision had cost him dearly but had also forged his resolve to protect those who could not protect themselves. As he stands in the community center, Eli draws strength from these memories. He understands that this battle is not just about defeating the river rats, it is about reclaiming peace and safety for everyone in Willow Bend. He knows that if they stand together, they can overcome any challenge. The confrontation begins as Jake shouts insults at Eli, trying to provoke him into making a mistake. But Eli remains calm, focusing on the support surrounding him. He knows that reacting with anger will only play into Jake's hands. Instead, he stands firm, reminding himself of why he is fighting. The crowd rallies behind Eli, shouting words of encouragement and support. They are united in their determination to protect their town from intimidation and fear. As tensions rise, Duke lets out a low growl, sensing the impending conflict. Eli reaches down to reassure him, knowing that together they will face whatever comes next. As the battle erupts, chaos ensues within the community center. The river rats charge forward, but Eli's allies stand strong, refusing to back down. The fight is fierce, but fueled by a sense of purpose and unity among those defending Willow Bend. In the midst of the chaos, Eli recalls another flashback, his decision to leave law enforcement behind in search of peace. He remembers how difficult it was to walk away from a life filled with conflict, but understands now that it was necessary for his growth. This moment is his chance to reclaim that strength and show everyone what true courage looks like. As fists fly and voices raise in defiance against fear, Eli feels empowered by the support of his friends and neighbors. He knows that they are all fighting for something greater than themselves, a future where kindness prevails over bullying. The battle rages on as both sides clash fiercely within the community center walls. But amidst the chaos, Eli remains focused on his goal, to protect those he loves and reclaim peace for Willow Bend. As he fights alongside Tom and other allies, Eli feels a renewed sense of purpose wash over him. This is not just a battle against old enemies, it is an opportunity for healing and unity within their community, a chance to turn fear into strength. With each punch thrown and each shout of encouragement from his friends, Eli understands that they are forging a new legacy together, one built on courage, loyalty, and resilience in the face of adversity. As tensions reach their peak in this climactic showdown, Eli knows that whatever happens next will define not only their futures, but also the future of Willow Bend itself. Together they will stand strong against whatever challenges arise from this gathering storm, ready to reclaim peace and safety for all who call this town home. Amidst chaos, an unexpected comedic moment arises when one bully accidentally trips over Duke's leash during the fight, leading to laughter even in dire circumstances. As fists fly and voices shout, the tension in the community center is palpable. Eli and his allies are fully engaged in the struggle against the river rats, but just as the atmosphere feels overwhelmingly serious, a sudden commotion breaks through. One of the river rats, caught up in the heat of the moment, charges forward with reckless abandon. In his haste, he fails to notice Duke, who is standing protectively beside Eli. The bully's foot catches on Duke's leash, sending him tumbling forward in a spectacular fall. He lands with a loud thud on the floor, and for a brief moment, the fighting pauses as everyone turns to see what just happened. The sight of the bully sprawled out on the ground elicits a wave of laughter from Eli's allies. The unexpected humor cuts through the tension like a knife, lightening the mood even in the midst of conflict. Eli can't help but chuckle as he sees Duke looking down at the fallen bully with an expression that seems to say, "What just happened?" The laughter spreads through the crowd, and even some of the river rats pause to look at their fallen comrade. The absurdity of the situation brings a momentary reprieve from the intensity of the fight. Eli seizes this opportunity to rally his allies, encouraging them to keep pushing forward while reminding them that they are stronger together. With spirits lifted by this unexpected moment of levity, Eli and his friends regain their focus. They remember why they are fighting, not just for themselves, but for their community and for each other. The laughter serves as a reminder that even in difficult times, there is always room for joy and camaraderie. As the fight resumes, Eli feels renewed energy coursing through him. The bond between him and his allies strengthens as they share this moment of laughter amidst adversity. They push back against the river rats with determination, fueled by their sense of unity and purpose. Duke remains vigilant by Eli's side, ready to protect him at all costs. The dog's presence is a constant source of strength as they navigate through the chaos together. Eli knows that with Duke and his friends beside him, they can face whatever challenges arise. As punches are thrown and shouts echo through the community center once more, Eli reflects on how far they have come. This battle is not just about defeating old enemies, it is about reclaiming their town and standing up against fear and intimidation. With each passing moment, Eli feels more confident in their cause. The laughter from earlier has transformed into shouts of encouragement as they fight side by side. Together they are forging a new legacy, one built on courage, loyalty, and resilience. As tensions rise again in this climactic showdown, Eli knows that whatever happens next will define not only their futures, but also the future of Willow Bend itself. They are ready to reclaim peace and safety for all who call this town home, knowing that even in dire circumstances, there is always room for hope and laughter to shine through. With victory achieved, but at great cost, Eli contemplates whether he can truly leave his past behind or if it will always haunt him. The battle in the community center has come to an end, but the aftermath leaves a heavy weight on his heart. As he surveys the scene around him, he sees the faces of his friends and neighbors, some bruised and battered, but filled with a sense of triumph. They have stood together against fear and intimidation, reclaiming their town from the river rats. Yet, amidst the celebration, Eli feels a deep sense of unease. He knows that while they may have won this battle, the scars of conflict linger. The memories of his past as Eli the Enforcer flash through his mind, moments filled with danger, loss, and difficult choices. He wonders if he can ever truly escape those shadows or if they will always follow him. As rain begins to fall outside, Eli finds solace in the sound of droplets hitting the roof. The rain feels cleansing, washing away some of the tension that has built up over time. It reminds him that even after storms, there is always a chance for renewal and growth. He reflects on how far he has come since arriving in Willow Bend, a place where he sought peace and healing. He looks around at his allies, who are now sharing stories of their victory and supporting one another. Eli feels a sense of gratitude for their camaraderie and strength. They have fought not just for themselves, but for each other, forging bonds that will last beyond this moment. This shared experience has created a new legacy for Willow Bend, one built on courage, loyalty, and resilience. Despite the victory, Eli knows that challenges may still lie ahead. He understands that Marcus may not be finished with him yet, and the river rats could regroup. The thought of facing more conflict fills him with apprehension. But as he watches his friends rally together in support, Eli realizes that he does not have to face these challenges alone. Duke sits faithfully by his side, sensing Eli's inner turmoil. The dog's unwavering loyalty offers comfort as Eli grapples with his feelings about the past. He knows that with Duke and his friends beside him, he can confront whatever comes next. As the rain continues to fall outside, Eli takes a moment to breathe deeply and reflect on his journey. He understands that while he cannot change his past, he can shape his future through the choices he makes today. Each step forward is an opportunity for healing and growth. With renewed determination, Eli resolves to embrace his role as a protector, not just of himself but of everyone in Willow Bend. He understands that true strength lies not in running from one's past but in facing it head-on with courage and integrity. As the storm clouds begin to clear outside and sunlight breaks through once more, Eli feels a sense of hope rising within him. He knows that whatever challenges lie ahead, they will face them together as a community united by friendship and resilience. In this moment of reflection amidst the aftermath of battle, Eli finds peace in knowing that he has not faced these challenges alone. The bonds forged through trials faced side by side will carry them forward into whatever comes next, a journey filled with heartwarming moments and unbreakable connections forged through courage and loyalty. In the aftermath of conflict, Willow Bend faces repercussions from both law enforcement and rival gangs seeking retribution against Eli for disrupting their plans. The community is still buzzing with the energy of their recent victory, but beneath the surface, a storm brews. Eli can feel the tension in the air as whispers of discontent circulate among the townsfolk. As Eli rolls through town with Duke by his side, he notices that some residents are looking over their shoulders, their expressions filled with worry. The aftermath of the battle has left its mark, and Eli understands that not everyone in Willow Bend is ready to embrace the changes that have come about. Some are still fearful of Marcus and the river rats, while others are concerned about how law enforcement will react to the chaos that unfolded in the community center. Eli learns that law enforcement is tightening its grip on the town, trying to restore order after the fight. They are investigating the river rats and looking for answers about what happened during the confrontation. Eli knows that while he fought for peace, his actions have drawn unwanted attention to himself and his friends. Meanwhile, news of Eli's involvement in the conflict has reached rival gangs outside of Willow Bend. They see him as a threat to their operations and begin plotting their revenge. Eli realizes that he has inadvertently put not only himself, but also his friends and neighbors in danger. The very act of standing up against intimidation has made him a target. As he discusses these developments with Tom and Sam, Eli feels a weight on his shoulders. He knows that he must take responsibility for the consequences of his actions. The fight may have been won, but the battle for peace is far from over. Tom suggests they hold another community meeting to address these new threats head-on. Eli agrees. They need to come together once more to discuss how to protect themselves from potential retaliation. He understands that facing these challenges requires unity and open communication among residents. As they prepare for the meeting, Eli reflects on how quickly things can change. Just days ago, they were celebrating a hard-fought victory, and now they find themselves bracing for what could be an even greater challenge. He knows that true strength lies in facing adversity with courage and resilience. The meeting draws a crowd once again, but this time there is an undercurrent of anxiety in the room. Residents share their concerns about law enforcement's increased presence and rumors of rival gangs lurking nearby. Eli listens carefully, acknowledging their fears while encouraging them to stay strong. He emphasizes that they have faced challenges before and emerged stronger together. He reminds them of their recent victory against the river rats and how their unity made all the difference. Eli believes that if they stand together once more, they can weather any storm that comes their way. As discussions unfold, Eli notices some familiar faces. Those who had previously been hesitant to engage are now stepping forward with ideas and solutions. The sense of community begins to strengthen again as people share stories of hope and resilience. But just as hope begins to rise, a shadow looms over them. Rumors swirl about Marcus plotting revenge against Eli and those who stood with him. The fear of retribution hangs heavy in the air as everyone realizes that they are still very much in the eye of the storm. Eli knows that he must prepare himself for whatever comes next. He understands that while they may have won a battle, the war for peace in Willow Bend is far from over. With Duke by his side and support from Tom and Sam, he feels ready to face whatever challenges lie ahead. Together they will navigate this new landscape filled with uncertainty, determined to protect their home and each other from those who seek to disrupt their hard-won peace. As night falls once more over Willow Bend, Eli steels himself for what lies ahead, a test of loyalty and resilience that will determine not only their futures but also the future of their beloved town. Conversations among locals reveal divided opinions on whether Eli is a hero or a menace. In the days following the battle, the atmosphere in Willow Bend remains charged with tension. As Eli walks through town, he overhears snippets of conversations that reflect the community's mixed feelings about him. Some residents praise his bravery, calling him a hero for standing up to the river rats and Marcus. Others, however, express concerns that his actions have only brought trouble to their peaceful town. Sam listens closely as he walks alongside Eli, trying to make sense of the conflicting opinions swirling around them. He hears one neighbor say that Eli's fight was necessary to protect their home, while another insists that he has stirred up danger and chaos. Sam grapples with these contrasting views, feeling torn between admiration for Eli's courage and concern about the potential consequences of his actions. As they continue their walk, Sam turns to Eli, who seems lost in thought. He wants to understand what it means to be brave versus being reckless in supporting someone like Eli. Sam admires Eli for his strength and determination, but worries about the risks involved in standing up against powerful adversaries like Marcus. Eli notices Sam's hesitation and encourages him to share his thoughts. Sam opens up about his fears regarding how others perceive Eli and the potential backlash they might face as a result of his actions. Eli listens carefully, appreciating Sam's honesty. He understands that being a leader comes with challenges, especially when opinions are divided. Eli reflects on his own journey and the choices he has made. He knows that not everyone will agree with him or understand his motivations. He explains to Sam that true bravery often means making difficult choices and standing firm in one's beliefs, even when faced with criticism or fear. As they talk, Eli emphasizes the importance of unity within the community. He believes that while there may be differing opinions about him, what truly matters is how they come together to support one another in times of need. Sam begins to see that bravery is not just about individual actions, it is also about fostering connections and understanding among people. Later that day, they gather with Tom and other allies to discuss their next steps. The conversation quickly shifts back to the mixed feelings within the community regarding Eli's role in recent events. Some are eager to support him wholeheartedly, while others remain hesitant, fearing further conflict. Eli takes this opportunity to address everyone openly. He acknowledges their concerns and expresses gratitude for their support thus far. He shares his belief that standing together against fear is essential for reclaiming peace in Willow Bend. He encourages everyone to voice their opinions and work together toward a common goal. As discussions unfold, Sam watches as people begin to engage more openly with one another. The atmosphere starts to shift from division to collaboration as they brainstorm ways to strengthen their community and address any potential threats from Marcus and his gang. Sam feels a sense of hope rising within him as he sees people coming together despite their differences. He realizes that supporting Eli does not mean blindly following him, it means being part of a community that values courage and resilience. As night falls once again over Willow Bend, Sam reflects on what it means to be brave in this context. He understands now that true bravery involves listening, understanding different perspectives, and working together toward a common purpose. With renewed determination, Sam decides he will stand by Eli, not just as a supporter but as an active participant in shaping their future together. They are all part of this journey toward healing and unity, a journey filled with heartwarming moments and unbreakable connections forged through trials faced side by side. Eli feels empowered by the support of those around him as they prepare for whatever challenges lie ahead. Together they will navigate this uncertain landscape with courage and hope, ready to reclaim peace for all who call Willow Bend home. As new threats loom over Willow Bend from outside forces seeking revenge against Eli, he must decide whether to stand firm or leave town once more. The tension in the air is palpable as Eli grapples with the weight of his choices. The aftermath of the recent battle has left him feeling both empowered and vulnerable. He knows that Marcus and his gang are not finished, and the fear of what they might do next hangs over him like a dark cloud. Eli spends long hours contemplating his next move. He reflects on his journey since arriving in Willow Bend, the friendships he has forged, the community he has come to love, and the peace he has fought so hard to protect. But now, with threats lurking just beyond the horizon, he is faced with a difficult decision. Should he stay and fight for his home or leave to protect those he cares about? Sam becomes central to Eli's decision-making process. The young boy has grown close to Eli, and their bond has strengthened through shared experiences. Sam looks up to Eli as a mentor and friend, and Eli feels a sense of responsibility to guide him through this challenging time. As they spend time together, Sam senses Eli's internal struggle and offers unwavering support. One evening, while sitting on the porch with Duke at their feet, Sam asks Eli about his thoughts on leaving town. He expresses concern about what might happen if Marcus and his gang come looking for revenge. Sam's honesty opens up a conversation about fear, bravery, and the importance of standing up for what is right. Eli listens carefully as Sam shares his feelings. The boy admires Eli's courage, but also fears for his safety and the safety of their friends in Willow Bend. Sam's perspective reminds Eli of the importance of community and connection. He realizes that leaving would mean abandoning not only his friends, but also everything they have built together. As they talk, Eli reflects on his past choices. He remembers times when he ran from conflict instead of facing it head-on. Those moments taught him valuable lessons about courage and resilience, but they also left scars that still linger. He knows that standing firm this time could lead to a brighter future for Willow Bend. Sam's determination inspires Eli to consider the possibility of fighting back against the looming threats rather than fleeing once more. Together they brainstorm ways to strengthen their community's defenses against Marcus and his gang. They discuss rallying more townsfolk to join their cause and creating a plan that emphasizes unity and support. As they plan, Eli feels a renewed sense of purpose rising within him. He understands that true bravery is not just about facing danger, it is also about standing up for each other and fostering connections that can withstand any storm. With Duke by their side, Eli feels ready to confront whatever challenges lie ahead. He knows that while fear may be present, it does not have to dictate their actions. Instead, they can choose courage and resilience as they prepare for what is to come. As night falls over Willow Bend once again, Eli makes a silent promise to himself and to Sam that he will not run from this fight. Together, they will stand strong against whatever forces threaten their home, united by friendship and loyalty. The decision weighs heavily on him, but with Sam's support and the bonds he has forged within the community, Eli feels hopeful about reclaiming peace for everyone who calls Willow Bend home. They are ready to face the storm together, stronger than ever before, and determined to protect their future against any threat that may arise. An intense standoff occurs between rival gangs seeking retribution against Eli during a town meeting where tensions reach their peak. The community center is filled with concerned residents, all gathered to discuss the growing threat posed by Marcus and his gang. Eli sits at the front, flanked by Sam and Tom, feeling the weight of their anxious eyes on him. As the meeting begins, Eli can sense the unease in the room. Whispers of fear ripple through the crowd, and he knows that everyone is on edge, anticipating what might happen next. Just as he starts to speak, the doors burst open, and Marcus strides in with a group of river rats behind him. The atmosphere shifts dramatically as people gasp and murmur in shock. Eli's heart races as he locks eyes with Marcus, who wears a smug grin. The tension in the room thickens as Marcus makes it clear that he has come to settle the score. He taunts Eli, reminding him of their past encounters and how he disrupted their plans. Eli feels anger bubbling inside him but knows that reacting with rage will only escalate the situation. As Marcus speaks, flashbacks flood Eli's mind, memories of his time as Eli the Enforcer. He remembers moments of conflict where he fought against gangs like Marcus's, trying to protect innocent lives. Those memories are tinged with regret and pain, but they also remind him of how far he has come since then. Eli recalls a pivotal moment from his past when he faced a similar standoff with another gang leader. He had been scared but stood firm, knowing that backing down would only lead to more suffering for those he cared about. That experience taught him about courage and the importance of standing up for what is right. Returning to the present, Eli takes a deep breath and steps forward to address both Marcus and the townsfolk. He speaks calmly but firmly, urging everyone to remain united against fear and intimidation. He emphasizes that they have fought hard for their community and will not let anyone tear it apart. As Eli stands tall, Sam watches in awe. He sees how Eli has transformed from a man haunted by his past into a leader willing to confront his fears head-on. This moment is not just about defending himself, it is about protecting everyone in Willow Bend. Marcus scoffs at Eli's words, trying to provoke him further. He threatens violence if they do not back down. The tension in the room escalates as people begin to feel scared once more. Eli knows he must act quickly to defuse the situation before it spirals out of control. Suddenly, Duke lets out a low growl, sensing the rising tension. The dog stands protectively beside Eli, ready to defend him if necessary. This display of loyalty reinforces Eli's resolve. He knows he is not alone in this fight. With renewed determination, Eli addresses Marcus directly. He tells him that Willow Bend will not be intimidated or bullied any longer. The community has come together to stand strong against threats. Together they are stronger than any gang. As emotions run high and voices rise in defiance against Marcus's threats, Eli feels a surge of hope within him. He understands that this moment could define not only his future but also the future of Willow Bend itself. The standoff reaches its peak as both sides prepare for confrontation. Eli's heart pounds in his chest as he recalls another flashback, his decision to leave behind a life filled with conflict in search of peace. He realizes now that true peace comes from facing challenges head-on rather than running away from them. In this climactic moment filled with uncertainty and potential change, Eli understands that whatever happens next will shape their community for years to come. Together with Duke by his side and Sam's unwavering support backing him up, he feels ready to confront this challenge. As tensions boil over into chaos once more, Eli stands firm at the center of it all, a symbol of courage and resilience for those around him. This is not just a battle against old enemies, it is an opportunity for healing and unity within Willow Bend, a chance to reclaim peace once and for all. In a moment of levity amidst high stakes, Sam accidentally mispronounces an important term during heated discussions among townsfolk, breaking tension and earning laughter from everyone present. As the standoff between Eli's supporters and Marcus's gang reaches a boiling point, the atmosphere is thick with anxiety. Eli stands at the forefront, ready to defend his community, but the tension is palpable, and fear looms over the crowd. As voices rise and arguments flare, Sam, eager to contribute to the discussion, tries to express his thoughts about unity and strength. However, in his nervousness, he stumbles over his words. Instead of saying solidarity, he accidentally says salad. The room falls silent for a brief moment as everyone processes what he just said. Then, as if a switch has been flipped, laughter erupts throughout the community center. The tension that had been suffocating suddenly dissipates as townsfolk chuckle at Sam's innocent mistake. Eli can't help but smile as he watches the crowd lighten up, their fear momentarily forgotten in the face of such unexpected humor. Sam turns beet red, realizing his blunder but also feeling a sense of relief as laughter spreads through the room. The sound of joy cuts through the heaviness of the situation, reminding everyone that even in dire moments, there is room for light-heartedness and connection. Eli seizes this opportunity to refocus the group. He encourages everyone to channel their energy into standing together rather than allowing fear to divide them. The laughter serves as a reminder that they are all in this together, fighting for their home and each other. As people begin to settle down from their laughter, Eli feels a renewed sense of hope. He knows that while challenges remain ahead, moments like this help strengthen their bonds. They are not just fighting against a gang, they are fighting for their community, a place filled with friendships and shared experiences. With spirits lifted by Sam's accidental humor, Eli addresses the townsfolk again. He emphasizes that they must remain united against any threats that come their way. The laughter has broken down barriers and created an atmosphere of camaraderie that will serve them well in the face of adversity. As discussions resume with a lighter tone, Eli feels grateful for Sam's unintentional contribution. The young boy's innocent mistake has brought everyone closer together at a time when they needed it most. They are reminded that even in moments of uncertainty and fear, there is always space for joy and connection. With Duke by his side and support from Sam and Tom strengthening him further, Eli feels ready to confront whatever challenges lie ahead. Together, they will navigate this uncertain landscape with courage and hope, determined to protect their home against any threat that may arise. As night settles over Willow Bend once more, Eli reflects on how far they have come as a community. The bonds forged through shared experiences, both serious and light-hearted, will carry them forward into whatever comes next. They are prepared to face the storm together, united by friendship and resilience in their quest for peace. Eli embraces his identity as both protector and former lawman while acknowledging that he cannot escape who he is. The events of the past few days have forced him to confront his history, and he realizes that every experience has shaped him into the person he is today. As the dust settles from the confrontation with Marcus and the river rats, Eli feels a sense of clarity wash over him. With peace settling over Willow Bend once more, Eli looks around at the community he has fought to protect. He sees familiar faces filled with relief and gratitude, and he knows that they have all come together in a way that will strengthen their bonds moving forward. This is not just a victory for him, it is a victory for everyone who calls this town home. Eli reflects on his relationship with Sam, who has grown from an admirer into a trusted friend and ally. The young boy now sees Eli not just as a legend but as family, a protector who has stood by him through thick and thin. Eli feels a deep sense of pride in their connection, knowing that they have both learned and grown from their experiences together. As they walk side by side, Eli takes a moment to express his appreciation for Sam's support. He acknowledges how important it is to have people who believe in you, especially during challenging times. Sam beams with pride, understanding that his role in this journey has been significant. Eli also recognizes that rebuilding relationships within the community will take time and effort. He knows that some residents may still harbor fears or doubts about what lies ahead. He is determined to reach out to those who may feel uncertain, offering them reassurance and support as they move forward together. With Duke trotting happily beside them, Eli feels hopeful about the future. He understands that true strength comes from facing challenges head-on and standing united against adversity. The bonds forged through their shared experiences will serve as a foundation for rebuilding trust and connection within Willow Bend. As night falls over the town, Eli reflects on how far they have come. The struggles they faced have only made them stronger, and he knows that together they can overcome any obstacles that may arise in the future. He feels a renewed sense of purpose as he embraces his role as both protector and friend. Eli looks forward to new beginnings, new opportunities to create lasting memories with Sam and the rest of the community. They are ready to face whatever comes next with courage, resilience, and hope in their hearts. In this moment of reflection, Eli understands that while he cannot escape his past, he can choose how it shapes his future. With each step forward, he embraces who he is: a protector, a friend, and a member of a community united by loyalty and love. As peace settles over Willow Bend once more, Eli feels grateful for the journey they have shared. Together, they will continue to navigate life's challenges, forging unbreakable connections along the way, a testament to the power of friendship and resilience in their quest for harmony. The community of Willow Bend has weathered a storm, and now, as peace settles over the town, the role of the judge comes into focus. The events that transpired during the confrontation with Marcus and the river rats have raised important questions about justice, fairness, and the rule of law. As the judge reflects on these occurrences, he considers not only the legal implications but also the moral complexities that have emerged. The judge understands that while Eli acted out of a desire to protect his community, his actions cannot be viewed in isolation. They must be examined within the broader context of law and order. The confrontation was not merely a clash between rival gangs, it was a pivotal moment that challenged the very fabric of their society. The judge recognizes that personal biases can often influence judgments, making it essential to approach each case with an open mind and a commitment to fairness. In considering Eli's motivations, the judge acknowledges the deep-rooted desire to stand up against bullying and intimidation. Eli's journey from a troubled past to a protector of his community illustrates the complexities of human nature. The judge reflects on how individuals often face difficult choices that can lead to unintended consequences. He sees Eli not just as a hero, but as a flawed human being striving for redemption. The judge also contemplates the role of community in shaping justice. The support Eli received from his friends and neighbors highlights how collective action can lead to positive change. However, it also raises questions about mob mentality and how easily fear can sway public opinion. The judge recognizes that while unity is powerful, it must be tempered with wisdom and restraint. As he analyzes the events, the judge draws upon relevant legal precedents that emphasize the importance of due process and protecting individual rights. He considers how similar cases have been handled in the past and what lessons can be learned from them. The complexities of legal decision-making become apparent as he grapples with balancing justice for victims while ensuring fair treatment for all parties involved. The judge reflects on how different perspectives shape our understanding of truth and justice. He acknowledges that each character in this narrative, Eli, Marcus, Sam, and even Duke, has their own motivations and experiences that inform their actions. This multifaceted view creates a richer understanding of their decisions and the societal context surrounding them. In closing his analysis, the judge emphasizes that this case serves as a reminder of the ongoing struggle for justice in any community. It highlights the need for open dialogue about morality, ethics, and the law. He hopes that Willow Bend can learn from these events, fostering an environment where individuals feel empowered to stand up against wrongdoing while remaining committed to fairness and understanding. As he prepares to deliver his final remarks on this matter, the judge feels a sense of responsibility to guide future generations toward a more just society. He knows that while challenges will always arise, it is through reflection, dialogue, and unity that communities can navigate their way toward true justice, a lesson that resonates deeply within Willow Bend as they continue to heal and grow together. As the dust settles in Willow Bend, the community begins to reflect on the key takeaways from their recent trials. Eli, Sam, and their friends gather to discuss what they have learned from the challenges they faced together. They understand that these lessons will help guide them as they move forward. One of the most important lessons is the power of unity. Eli emphasizes that standing together against fear and intimidation is crucial. The support of friends and neighbors can create a strong foundation for overcoming obstacles. They realize that when individuals come together with a common purpose, they can achieve great things. Another key takeaway is the importance of understanding different perspectives. Each person in Willow Bend has their own story and experiences that shape their views. By listening to one another, they can foster empathy and compassion within the community. Eli encourages everyone to engage in open dialogue, allowing for a richer understanding of each other's motivations and feelings. The group also reflects on the significance of courage, not just in facing external threats, but also in confronting their own fears and doubts. Eli shares how he had to confront his past to embrace who he is now. This journey toward self-acceptance inspires others to reflect on their own paths and recognize that it's okay to seek help and support when needed. As they discuss these lessons, action prompts begin to emerge. Eli encourages everyone to think about ways they can contribute to building a stronger community. They brainstorm ideas for community events that promote unity, such as neighborhood cleanups, potlucks, or workshops focused on conflict resolution. Sam suggests starting a youth group where kids can learn about teamwork and leadership skills. This idea resonates with everyone, as they see the value in empowering the next generation to stand up for what is right. Eli reminds them that even small actions can lead to significant change. Whether it's reaching out to a neighbor in need or participating in local events, every effort counts toward creating a safer and more supportive environment. As they wrap up their discussion, Eli feels a sense of hope and determination within the group. They are ready to take these lessons to heart and put them into action. Together, they will continue to navigate life's challenges with courage, resilience, and a commitment to one another. With Duke by his side, Eli looks forward to the future, one filled with opportunities for growth, connection, and healing. The bonds forged through their experiences will guide them as they face whatever comes next in their journey together. As night falls over Willow Bend once again, Eli reflects on how far they have come as a community. The lessons learned will serve as a foundation for rebuilding trust and fostering unity among all residents. They are prepared to face any storm together, united by friendship and resilience in their quest for peace and understanding.